Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and this week's video, I want to talk about the power of small gifts and why this is top of mind at the moment. So, a friend of mine, Dr. Jesse Green, he went on a recent trip to the United States. He went to Las Vegas for a business conference, and he returned probably a week and a half ago. But yesterday, when I was checking my mail, all of a sudden there was a box. I opened up the box, and inside the box there was two packets of my favorite mints called wintergreen. That's the flavor. Now, if you're watching this in the United States, wintergreen is a common flavor. It might be in other countries, but in Australia it's not. But it is my favorite mint. So when I opened up the box, the mints were in there. I'm thinking, oh, this is fantastic. But not only were there mints in there, he'd also sent me this. Now, this is a Captain America fan that goes around. And what's interesting about this, if you actually take a look at it, is Jesse knows that I am a Captain America fan, which a few people know this. And I have a couple of Captain America things around in my office. If you actually saw my office, you'd be surprised what's actually in here. And I really appreciated this. When I received this, I was so happy. I shot a little video and I sent it to him. And my wife just thinks we're actually crazy. But this is the power of small gifts. And it put a huge smile on my face when I actually received this. And when I thought about it, I'll just put this down. When I thought about it, I have done this myself whenever I travel. When I go overseas, even if I just go interstate, I would bring back gifts for people who were close to me, for close friends, for my wife, for my daughter. And they weren't always something that was really big. Sometimes it'd just be something that was quite small or something that was unique to that particular area where I was visiting. And even with my friends, and sometimes it's been friends at the gym or close friends around Cairns, it might be sometimes it's just a small whiskey bottle that might be from that particular area or that particular country. I've brought back food items. Not all, if they're lifesavers, I've kept them for myself. The wintergreen ones, especially, could have been bottle openers, might be lighters. Even when I had my podiatry clinic, my staff knew that every single time I went overseas, I would always bring them something back. And sometimes it was just a small item. It could have been a shot glass. Once again, it could be in a cigarette lighter, an opener. It would be something that, I remember one thing I brought back. Hang on, I'm going to grab it for a sec. I have it right here. I remember this was one of the gifts that when I was in Japan, I brought back for a couple of staff members, and they absolutely loved them. I still have mine today. They were ninja nippers. Got them in Japan. Absolutely fantastic. I carry these around with me every time I travel. And you'd be surprised the amount of times you're looking for a nail clipper. So ninja nippers. Now, at the time, I think they cost me like equivalent $5. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But the idea of these small gifts, it's just the power that is behind these small gifts is unbelievable. So whenever you're traveling, think about it. I also had a couple of patients that I was really friendly with, and had one particular lady. She was an older lady. She was a crazy Jimmy Buffett fan. And the reason we were talking about Jimmy Buffett is she knew that I played the guitar. And she said, "Oh, you should learn how to play Margaritaville." I went, "Oh, okay." I hadn't heard the song at that time. She let me listen to the song. I went, "I'm going to learn that one." And I did. I did learn how to play it. What was interesting, I was in Las Vegas, and in Las Vegas, there's a big bar there called Margaritaville, and it's Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. He has them around America. But when I was there, there was a pack of playing cards from Margaritaville. So I brought them back from my trip for that patient. And I had a few other patients, long-term patients, that if I got to know a little bit about them and we'd become friendly over a long period of time, I did bring back small little gifts. And the smile it put on their face was priceless. It was worth far more than what I paid for those gifts. Now, it doesn't mean I came back with a bag full of gifts every time that I traveled. My family and really close friends, yes, they usually get something each time I go away. I think the power of this, though, is when you're giving someone a gift, whether it's Ninja Nippers or something else, It lets you know, or lets them know that you're actually thinking about them when you're away. So the patient I got the margarita playing cards for, her thinking when seeing that would have been, wow, when Tyson was on a trip overseas, he was actually thinking about conversations we've had in that consultation room. And the bond that does with your patients, with your team, with your friends, like I said, I think it's actually priceless. And giving people even a thank you card, even though a thank you card may not be a small gift, it can have just the same amount of power. I remember this one card. I'm going to grab this as well. I have a drawer here where I put, anytime I get a card, appreciation card, if I've done a talk somewhere, anything, and they send me, I keep it all in this one drawer. And remember this one particular card from Zach Stone. And Zach, I sat with for 2 days at a business black ops event in Arizona. And it was like a couple of weeks later, all of a sudden, I received his card in the mail, and he just told me how much he enjoyed sitting next to me and enjoying the banter and the fun that we actually had over that 2, was it 3 days actually, over that 3 days. I've received numerous cards like that over the years, and every time I get one, it makes me feel really, really good. But that's not the only thing. Like I said, I keep these all in a drawer, and I actually love receiving them. But my brain book that I had last year, my 2024 brain book, the one that has big cheese on it, that was a gift from somebody who used to call me Big Cheese as a nickname, still does call me Big Cheese. This book that I have here, Unreasonable Hospitality, absolutely fantastic book. That was a gift from a podiatry friend of mine, Richard Chasen. Unexpected, it just turned up in the mail. And when I got it, I went, not only I had never heard of the book, I appreciated receiving it. But then when I read the book, I went, holy crap, this is such a good book. I really enjoyed getting it. I got a few things sitting around here. This thing, Brian Slater, friend of mine over in America, gave me. I think his neighbor or a close friend works for Disney doing animation characters. This is a solid metal object that sits on my desk. And every time I look at that, it brings back that memory when he actually gave it to me. And he handed out a few of these to a few of the people that he felt that he had a really close bond with. And we have been really, really close friends ever since. Another friend, Buster Tate, over in the States. 1 year, it's going back, this is pre-COVID, he gave me like a silver dollar, American dollar coin. And that also just sits here on my desk as a reminder, not of just the friendship that I have with Buster, but just the appreciation of having that friendship. My office is full of little things that I've picked up through my travel, things that I have received from friends, family, business associates over the years. And when I look around my office and I look at these things, it puts a smile on my face. It reminds me of how many friends I do have around the world, which is great. But it also reminds me of the power of small gifts. So if you have a trip planned, you're about to go somewhere, when you go and when you look around, yes, enjoy the trip. And I always say, travel with intent. You got to do that. But also at the same time, if you see something that a family member, a close friend, a patient, a colleague, that you know something about them, you go, oh, I think they'd really appreciate that. And it's not going to take up a lot of room in your luggage, because sometimes you need to travel light. Just pick it up. Like I said, how many ninja nippers could you fit in your bag without it really being too much of a problem? That was the purpose of this video today. The power of small gifts. So if you enjoyed this video today, please give it a thumbs up and click the bell icon so you don't miss any videos when they are actually released. Please tell your friends that these videos exist and they should check them out, especially if you learned something from this one or a previous video. So look after yourselves, and I'll have another video for you next week. Okay, bye.